Hello and welcome back to the series. EXP here, and you find me at a very strange moment because you see that behind me. It's an iron farm, already built. Now this is one that was designed by an old friend that I used to play with on a server that goes by the name of Bigger Ben. I haven't been able to copy it just right because I couldn't remember parts of it, and there's a few designs I've changed, but I'll go through it with you in a sec. And yeah, the reason why it's already built is because I spent about 3 hours setting this up, getting it all ready. Well, probably close to 5 hours in the end. And I'd left my guitar plugged in, so the sound was absolutely atrocious, meaning it couldn't work at all. Now, there was a way that Ben had this so the line of sight was automatically broken by him trying to jump out of, I believe it was a composter. But I couldn't get that to work, so I went with a cauldron, and to have it break line of sight we just have a sticky piston up here and pull it back down. And I cannot emphasize the anguish it took me to get this set up like that. I had to troubleshoot this for a good couple of hours. Now you'd have thought, dealing with villagers, that getting the villagers from the breeder all the way over here would have been the hassle, but no. The zombie was more of a hassle than the villagers, and they normally like path travel quite easily. But yeah, basically the zombie scares the villagers, we all know that. The zombie spawns there, not zombie, the iron golem spawns there, the only place it can spawn, and over in the nether there's a collection system. Now I had to move my portal from here round to the back of this building simply because I couldn't get those portals to link up without it combining with that one, even though I had them in the right height levels and the X and Z coordinates were spot on. It just did not want to work. And so over here we have our collection system. You can hear them perishing over here, and when a new one spawns it pushes the other one out, and then the iron makes its way into that chest, which I just flip this. Off that goes, collects it, brings it back, waits there while it unloads, and off it goes again. I believe it's dragging about 10 to 12 items per round, which means it's not going to take too long to completely empty. But after all the troubleshooting and everything, we have already got a big chunk of iron here. Now that's that done, so if we just lock this again, it sits there. Originally I did have this whole system just wired up so that went round collecting for me, but because the iron golems, when they come through, chunk load the area, there's a good chance that the items could start despawning, and I can't have this running continuously, else it'll just get stuck. So this is the solution I've come up with. There's probably a way to get it where it's not going to leave its station till it's collected everything, but with the amount of iron that's going to be over here, I can't see this being a problem, to be honest. But we now have a solid supply of iron over at the perimeter, so we can crack on with other projects. Now I don't know if you're paying attention to just how snazzy I look as well, but if you can't tell, this is another new skin. Silent went ahead and surprised me when she finished the banner, which, check it out, I love it. She also surprised me with this dapper new suit, which to be fair I prefer to the other one. I think everyone does, everyone should. The other one was brilliant, but this one is just, oh, chef's kiss. So, this is the one I'll probably be wearing for the majority of the time. Now, you catch me over at the old base for two reasons, really. One, I have to set up a few things over this way. As in, I needed copper for my build, so I've been smelting that up. But also, an awful lot of wheat, seeing as my mud stores seem to have run out. And you can make mud bricks, which I'm probably going to set up a mini farm for, but nothing major. But I do need mud for the next few builds, and I'm going to put copper on them as well as the accent this time. I'm kind of waffling on at the moment, but yeah, I've had to come back, just sort a few little jobs out, And pretty soon, we'll be heading back over to the perimeter to talk about these 2 farms that I'm about to build. Now, I've got 1 or 2 options as well. I don't know whether I'm going to oxidise the copper first or if I'm just going to build with it and let it oxidise over time. But what we want is that nice green hue. Also, I can't remember if we spoke much about this, but I've extended this hallway down here. Added a nice road that leads us all the way to the perimeter, which I've moved the portal down here too. Well, you already know that because you saw. Oh, this is a bit annoying. Okay, and we're in. Be more careful. I was trying to manually collect the honey because this farm just isn't working fully. Something was wrong with it, and I can't breed these up now. There's no room. Yeah, they got angry at me. They've pretty much all escaped, and I'm back to starting again. Maybe if I had a trapdoor, I can. So yeah, halfway through a story there, but yep. So while dealing with that, it then becomes night. Well, obviously it's night because I'm dealing with them at night, and out of nowhere, I'll get blown up by a creeper. That was not a fun thought experiment at all. Today is not going how I planned at all. Right, so I've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bees. Now they're all here at the moment. So if we add my trapdoor now, and then here we go. Make sure we use the right one. Come on, this way. Okay, they're all gone in the hive now. Brilliant. Let's get a few more. 4. Come on. So now, when they pop back out, we can sneakily just breed them up again from this side, hopefully, without them escaping. That's the plan. Oh, this is a saga. Let's be sensible here, shall we, and put a failsafe in. That would be a good idea, wouldn't you say? Okay, now I replaced 3 of the hives with the 3 that we had here already, and hopefully that should make this much less work. It means I've only got to populate 1 or 2 of them, I think. Oh dear, yeah. Okay, so there we go. Now go populate. Go populate. I guess I'm just stuck here till it rains or night, I guess. The fun. Okay, maybe we're getting somewhere here. Maybe. Just nearly. In you. No, they're all coming back out. Okay. You know what? Let's just. There we go. I'm gonna open that trapdoor again and just leave them to it. Bee trouble aside, let's crack on with today's build, shall we? Not the best looking things in the world, but you know, it does the job. It does the job. So yeah, what these are for is one of them's going to be a cow crusher, the other one's going to be a chicken crusher, and that's all there is to it. So I'm going to decorate the inside still and put the actual farms themselves in, but I'm going to have them where they head underground and auto sort and auto cook the food. So I'll have leather going off in one direction and the beef going in another, the eggs going in one direction and the chickens in another. Well, the eggs and the feathers. I'll probably have it with this one pass through the same filter, whereas that one would have to be a separate filter. But yeah, all the meat will be cooked in the same little furnace array. Probably two separate ones. There's no point having more than two. It'll just be a constant stream, and I'll just top them up with coal whenever need be. But I actually need to get them in here, so that's what we're going to do now. Okay, hopefully I've set this up right. So we've got the chicken one here, which I don't know. Do chickens anti-cram? I'm not sure. And I'm about to bring the cows over, but let me just introduce you to this little build I made here, because obviously every farmstead needs a latrine. And that, my friends, is what we have, a latrine. Nothing suspicious about it at all, just close the door, need to do your business, and... oh, secret death chamber. Who'd have thought? So this is the guts of the operation down here. This is where all my leather should end up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting beef in here by accident. I hope I don't, but there's a possibility that raw beef could end up here. And over here I'm going to get a monumental amount of eggs and feathers. Now I might do something where I'm sending the eggs back up and somewhere else. I don't know, because they're going to fill up very quick. As for the feathers, I don't really have a use for them either. But I might end up with chicken breast in here as well. Not chicken breast, roast chicken. But yeah, realistically, all the meat should end up in here. That's the plan. I've got it set up so that there's an auto furnace back here. Not that you can really see it. That feeds then into a dropper over here, which spits it up and into them. And the same for over here with the chickens. It's the exact same setup. I was thinking about having it joined, but it's better to have them independent, to be honest, just because of the amount of eggs. How many are there? Like 3 or 4. I hope they can't escape anyway. I don't think they can. But yeah, I'm about to attempt to get the cows. Hopefully that's relatively stress-free. It never is. It never, ever is when it comes to dealing with cows. See the food and follow me. Oi! I said see the food and follow me. Thank you. Can we shove? Can we push and we shove? Maybe if I move the trapdoor. That should just end up in the junk. Oh no, I've got it myself. Oh, that would help, wouldn't it? It's normally easier to do this with calves as well, but I'm sure we'll manage. We just keep walking around. As long as I don't end up in there, it's not a problem. Successful with 1, successful with 2. Beautiful. Okay, now let's quickly just stop them from ever escaping again. And we're good to go. And let's start breeding them. And there's 3. Beautiful. That's completely set up then. As well as that, we've also made a few alterations to this here, which I'll go through now. It's simplified and automated the whole thing, so it shouldn't turn off as long as it's rendered in. But I've noticed I've built it a little bit too far away, so it isn't rendered in all the time. But seeing as we're coming close to being finished, it shouldn't matter. But yeah, this piston, I've just set it up to a daylight sensor, although technically this is a nightlight sensor, which is going into a monostable circuit that just plonks him up with a little bit of delay, plonks him down so it breaks line of sight for a second, maybe 2, and then back in. So every time it turns night, these will try to sleep, it'll let them for all of a second, and then it stopped. And as long as I'm over in the area, this will remain loaded. I've had to place this half slab here as well because this is now technically a spawnable block, meaning a golem could spawn on here. Unlikely, but could, and that would break the whole thing, stop it working. But yeah, that aside, we are pretty much ready to wrap things up here. And that is almost all we have time for today. Now, I did promise we'll start working on the World Eater today, and we've made a lot of progress. You see that little platform behind me? That's where we're going to start the whole process. I've decided I'm going to go with cleaners? Sweepers and the bombers together and just start from there and bomb all the way down. Now, I do have some numbers for you. If you hadn't noticed, I've also moved my platform from up there down to here and combined everything. I've also sorted it all out, so it's looking a lot better. But yeah, numbers ahead. The highest block is at 109. Well, so that means that the sweepers are going to start at 110. And that is our base point. I've worked out all 4 corners. And so there's 145 blocks on the one side by 197 blocks on the other side. So that is 28,565 blocks wide in total. Wide is it? Well, the squared area is that anyway. In total, it's going to be 4.9 million blocks. It is, if every single place was filled, like it includes all the air blocks basically and all the water and all the lava, and it is a 9 by 12 chunk area, so 108 chunks in total. And if we look over here, we'll see we've got the majority of the things we're going to need for them. Now, I haven't fully finished looking into it, so I'll probably need a fair few more bits. Hopefully 4 stacks of slime blocks is enough, but I've got the honey as a backup, which I might have to make the sweepers out of honey instead, maybe. I don't know. Either way, we are making steady progress, which as far as perimeters go is relatively small, but for just a little old fish on his own, it is absolutely mind-blowing, considering I've never done this before as well. I'm excited. So, I'll see you next week where the bombing may start. Or at least the building. I don't know which. Depends how much I get done between now and then. Anyway, until next time, bye!